All right. Hey, everybody. It's me, Claire, and Crystal is here with me too. We are kicking off a 6-week series that we're going to be doing called Market Like You Mean It. We're mostly going to focus on marketing with authenticity, which is going to be a big theme of this group. And we thought these kind of 20 to 30 minute short trainings over the next 6 weeks, we're going to release one a week on Wednesdays at 3, but they are recorded, so you can check it out anytime. It's a great thing on your lunch break, or if you have a few minutes after work to check it out. And feedback is also always welcome. If there's topics that you want expanded or you want to hear more about, please let us know, because we can always record future trainings as well, especially if something really resonates with you as you're watching. But today we are talking about marketing with intention. It's the first training in our series, and we're going to go for the next 6 weeks. So basically what we mean by marketing with intention is a couple different things. But today we're going to talk about how we get really clear in our own businesses about who we're marketing to, what we're marketing to them, and then also the value that we bring to the table. So, Crystal, I thought maybe you could kick it off with what marketing with intention means to you and how it impacts your business and how you use it with your own clients.
Yeah, great question too. I'm so happy that we're talking about this initially to kick this off. Intention is the very first thing that I think about when I'm structuring and determining what content I'm going to write for my clients, because really the goal of everything we do in marketing is to create specific results. But a lot of times what happens, especially with small business owners in their own marketing, is they don't know what results to expect, or they don't think about the results. So it's a lot like if you're looking at a map or you're using a GPS and you're driving. If you know the destination in mind, it makes it a lot easier to get there. But marketing isn't always that straightforward. Sometimes we don't always know what results to have, or sometimes the results that we want are unrealistic. But the point is that you have to start with intention. So you have to go into marketing saying, what do I want to get out of this? And you want to be able to evaluate it to determine, was it unrealistic, or where can I make adjustments on the reality of where I'm going to end up, and what are the adjustments I need to make on all of my marketing efforts to get there. And I would say that intention also has a lot to do with what's fueling you, the passion. Are you doing a certain type of marketing because you think that you have to, or are you doing it because the intent and the passion, right, and the emotional connection you have with it is there? And those are things that we should always be thinking about.
Yeah, and I think those are really good points. And especially, I think in terms of intention, one of the biggest things that I see people struggle with, and also honestly struggle with in my own business, is when you have so many different things that you offer, or you have so many different types of services in your business, or so many different ways that you can provide value to your clients, it's hard to know what to market and even where to start marketing. And I think we tend to get into these thought patterns of, okay, I have to market my entire business. And you really don't. You can craft a marketing message that has a narrowly targeted audience, that has a really specific message in mind, that has a really specific problem that you're solving. And you don't have to look at it as, I need to make people aware of every service that I provide. So partly what marketing with intention means to me is really identifying a specific problem that you solve, a specific value that you bring to help people, and targeting that and talking about that. And maybe it's your favorite part of your business. One of my absolute favorite parts of my business is being on the phone with other women in business. That's not a core component of what I do. A lot of what I do is on the computer in the back end. It's not very sexy or exciting. But one of my absolute favorite things is to sit down with other female entrepreneurs and just brainstorm. And so one of the big lead-ins in my own marketing is what I call a digital blueprint. And it's really just like a 60 to 90 minute deep dive where I sit down with my potential client and I talk to them about their business and what their marketing needs are. And that gets me really excited. And because I'm excited about that particular service I provide, it makes it really, really easy to market that. I know exactly who I'm targeting. I know exactly who I want on that phone call. I know exactly what it is that I provide. And even though it's only a small portion of the rest of my business, it's a service that is so specific that it makes it really easy for me to kind of push it out to the world in a way that's targeted, it's clear, it's concise, and it doesn't overwhelm people when they see all of the lists of services that I do. So partly marketing with intention is thinking about what you really want to communicate in your marketing and what you want to use as kind of an entry point to your business. Because marketing really is that, right? It's about getting people to enter your business, whether you're brick and mortar or you're online. It's about getting people in the front door. And that might be to look at your website. That might be to book a call with you. That might be to literally physically walk in your door because you have a brick and mortar location. But knowing that you don't have to solve it all, you don't have to let everyone know about your business right in the beginning. You just need that kind of one piece of the puzzle, kind of takes out a lot of the overwhelm for me personally.
What you described is a fun thing that I like to call the Baskin-Robbins effect. And it's really easy for it to happen to people in business. The most common flavors that they sell at Baskin-Robbins, which is a lot of times they're in a Dunkin' Donuts, is chocolate or vanilla. So you mean to tell me you have 32 flavors, from like daiquiri to peanut butter chocolate to Oreo to coffee. You have all these exotic flavors, all these fruity flavors, all this, and what you sell primarily is chocolate and vanilla. And that really drives home the psyche of what's involved here. And that's when you give people too many choices, they don't know what to do. So they always revert back to what I know and what's safe. So I see all these 32 flavors. 15 of them look like they may be great. I don't know which one is right for me right now. My palate is freaking out thinking about all these options. So I'm just going to stick and just be a very basic, and I'm just going to get the vanilla. So that's definitely what you're saying is on point with that. Don't try to overload somebody and offer everything that you can do or feel like you need to educate them on everything that you can do. You don't need to show them all 32 flavors at once because their brain is going to explode.
Well, and so is yours. And I think it's such a good point of if you feel overwhelmed in your marketing, your customer probably does too. And that overwhelm is going to come through. And by really kind of deciding, okay, here's one really cool, valuable thing I offer that I can get a quick win with. I can make that person feel amazing right away. I can communicate it really clearly. Is such a great way to determine just an entry point into your business. And it's like the Baskin-Robbins thing in reverse, right? So if you're thinking about your business, what's your favorite flavor in your business? What's the number one thing you really like to do? And use that to kind of draw people to you in your marketing. And then you're going to figure out the other stuff as you go, right? You don't
100%.
You don't have to try to like shove it all at them at once.
No.
And that's true no matter what type of business you have.
And it's okay to tell people what flavor they're going to get, right? If somebody comes in and says, hey, you know what? You should try this new Oreo flavor. If you're the professional in your industry, people are coming to you for a reason because they may not need all those options. They don't know. So sometimes it's okay. You don't want to do this every time, but be able to identify those points when you need to be able to tell them, hey, this is what flavor you need. All these other options, I'm not even going to present those to you because you don't need those right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, restaurants do this too, where it's the special of the day. And special of the day isn't the special of the day other than any other reason, and that's what they wanted to push you towards buying because that was going to be your best first experience with them.
Yeah. And restaurants are such an interesting and brilliant industry, also very complicated. Their specials of the day are always the best profit margin things that they have. And a lot of times they make them based on what stock do we have a bunch of and we have to get rid of. So if you want to talk about marketing with intent, I'm so glad you said that, because restaurants are a brilliant idea, because they will say, oh my God, I've got all this fresh fish. It's going to go bad. I've got mushrooms and this and this and that. We have a shipment coming in. Put something together and let's get rid of the stock. And if you look at a restaurant menu, next time you're in a restaurant, really spend time to look at the menu and open it. And the things that catch your eye first and the things that have pictures of the food are in their highest profit margin sections. There's a reason when you open the drink menu, there's way more pictures of the alcoholic drinks than of the food, because the markup is much higher. Same thing with the grocery store. The items at eye level, they get the highest margin on those. And that is absolutely marketing with intent. It's absolutely brilliant. And those are things that we should all be thinking about. How is this applicable to what I offer?
And I think a couple things you can do to kind of, well, A, assess if you currently are marketing with intent, and then B, how to kind of pivot and start marketing with intent, is to think of, do you have an I help sentence in your business? I help, so-and-so accomplish this. So I help, and then you want to insert whoever you help, and then you want to insert whatever problem you solve. So a really simple I help sentence. And once you have that I help sentence crafted, for example, I help small and medium-sized business owners create marketing machines that convert their clients on autopilot. So that's my audience and the problem I solve. And once you have that sentence, you can use it as a litmus to all the marketing materials that you're putting out. Does this message communicate who I help and how I help them? And if it doesn't, then it's probably not the best avenue to go down in terms of crafting a marketing campaign, because it doesn't really speak to who it is that you help. So getting your I help sentence in order, getting really clear on what your value offer is. What in your business will give somebody a really quick win? So if you're going to market with intent, the first thing you want to present to someone is a quick win with your business that's going to get them really, really excited. So if you're marketing something that's going to take them 6 months to a year to see a return, but you have maybe a service that they could see a result within 30 days, you probably want to start them on that service where they're going to see a result quickly, because then you can kind of funnel them into those other services subsequently. So knowing your I help sentence, knowing kind of your core value offer or something that brings value quickly. What else? What else do people look for if they want to know if they're marketing with intent?
Just a couple things I have for marketing with intention. And the first one is stay in your lane. We're all really good at things. We're all okay at things. And there are some things that other people just do better. So your intent needs to be to stick with the things that you're really good at, that you can provide your clients. They're probably better than most other people. And if there are extra of those 32 flavors that are good for them that you may not be the best at, don't worry so much about being the one to facilitate doing that. It's a service to your clients to help them get into the right place. So intent isn't just about, I'm doing this work for you and it's monetarily directly benefiting me. It's also providing people with information and being able to provide referrals and getting people taken care of. And the next thing is be really, really specific, like really specific. Even saying terms like, small business owners. Well, ask 50 different random people, what does a small business mean? And you'll probably get 48 different responses. Oh, it's 5 people. Well, it's 500 people. Well, government definition or what I think it is. So get really, really, really specific and keep honing in and crafting on what that means and what it looks like. Try to paint a picture in a sense. Your content should absolutely paint a picture of what does my client look like? And then just never stop focusing on that target market. And the best way to describe that is if I'm if I have a dart, right? I have a steel tip dart in my hand and I throw it at a wall and it sticks where it sticks where it sticks. But if I put a dartboard up and I specifically aim for the bullseye, I'm doing something with intent. I have the intent to hit my perfect target. Am I going to hit it all the time? Absolutely not. But I'm going to come closer to my goals because I had an intent there. And that's why it's just so important to always be thinking of what is the intent, what is the intent, what is the intent.
Your marketing will never be successful if you try to market everything to everyone. Even if your business, even if your service is available to everyone and good for everyone, and it has the ability to market everything in your business, it's never going to do your business justice to have a broad marketing campaign that just kind of puts out, hey, we can help anyone doing, XYZ services.
Yeah, because it really doesn't mean anything. When you're describing humans, when you're talking to us, when you're asking for a referral, or you're trying to paint a picture. So if I look at your website, I should be clear. If I look at your marketing materials, I should be clear that I'm your target audience. But if it's too generic and it's everybody, anybody, that doesn't mean anything to me. That means nobody. I don't know what to do. If Claire said, Crystal, will you go find me a client? Okay. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. I know a lot of people, but I have no idea how to help you because it's way too broad. I don't know what to do. So really getting, super specific and adding all those details. I mean, what would happen at a restaurant if you told your waiter that just bring me a sandwich, any sandwich, it doesn't matter? What are they going to do?
They're going to be super overwhelmed and not know what to do.
They have no idea what to do. Maybe they'll give you what they like, or maybe they give you what's most commonly ordered. But what if you wanted a burger? I mean, it's the difference of, well, what if now you want a burger with bacon and cheese and no onions, but extra tomatoes? When you add the specificity in, it's much like giving your order to, a wait staff or to the barista at the coffee shop. I very specifically want a soy frappa macchiato non-latte. I don't even know. Coffee should just have like coffee. It's 2 syllables, get it over and fast. But when you add the specificity in, and human beings are so funny because in a lot of aspects of our life, we do this, right? We add all those details in because we want to get what we want to get. But then when we go to do our marketing, we forget that same intention. Do you know what I mean? So think of it in that terms, right? When I'm creating my marketing, it's like I'm talking, to my barista. What exactly do I want in this drink order?
And I think, if you've never done a client avatar in your business before, it's a good idea. And if you're struggling to kind of build that avatar, think about your current clientele, your current customers, or people you've worked with in the past, and who was your absolute favorite? Who was your absolute favorite client? And describe them in really deep detail. Someone it was a complete pleasure to work with them. They were everything you hoped your business would be when you thought about working with people, and really get specific, like a paragraph of like, this person is Deborah, and Deborah has 3 kids, and she lives on such and such street, and this is her favorite color, and this is the type of food she likes, and this is her job, and this is how old she is, and this is who she's married to, and get really, really, really specific. And then write all of your marketing copy to Deborah. It doesn't mean you're only going to attract Deborah, and it doesn't mean you're not going to get other different types of clients, but it's really going to help you hone in your messaging in a way that all the other Deborahs of the world that we've already determined you love working with are going to immediately connect with whatever that campaign is, or whatever that messaging is, or whatever the offer is or the service that you're pushing out in marketing. That's something that has helped me. It's something that I do with my clients that has helped them. And I think people are hesitant to do that because it feels limiting, but it's not, because it's going to craft your message in such a way that the people who are the best possible people who could be working with you are just going to like flock to it because it hits them in their heart instead of hitting them in kind of this logical way of, okay, yeah, I need this service, and this person is over here on my Facebook page telling me they offer that service, so I guess I'll think about that, versus, Deborah going on Facebook and reading a very specific post that feels like it's completely written to her, and just resonating with it and immediately clicking that button and connecting with you. Even if you end up selling her a different service than the one you marketed, it's going to go a long way.
Oh yeah. It shortens your sales cycle too, because when people connect with you, it's easier. It's easier to convince them. You don't have to drag them along that road of hesitation as long. And you get to work with people that you like, that you actually enjoy working with, which is huge, because when you don't enjoy your clients, you're working harder for the money, and it can be miserable. We don't want to work with bad clients. And you may not get a lot of Deborahs, but you might get, a couple Susans and a Hazel and a Laura Lee that are kind of similar to Deborah. So it's kind of like, always aim for that bullseye. Well, I got a triple 20, I got a 6, I got a 14, but that's at least closer to where I aimed, rather than, oh my God, what the hell did I hit? Who is this person and how did they get to me because I'm miserable?
The other thing is, when you market with intent, it also sets you up to be a big fish in a small pond, which when you're marketing is always where you want to be. You want to be the authority, right? So you want to be talking to an audience where you're at the top, like you are the primo of who they could be working with. And it's kind of counterintuitive, because we always think about opportunity as being in kind of a large pond and being a smaller fish and having the opportunity to grow. But when it comes to marketing, the opposite is true. You want to be the number one top authority that person could be working with or visiting or shopping at or taking advantage of your services. And to do that, you need to really, really narrow your audience so that you can be the biggest fish in that game.
Absolutely. And, you hit the nail on the head. People are so worried that it's limiting, but by overgeneralizing your services and trying to sell to everybody and anybody, you really are just making yourself a tiny minnow in a freaking ocean.
You're going to get eaten.
Yeah, you're going to get eaten alive, because it just isn't effective. But if you are really strident and stick to, this is what I'm good at, this is who I want to work with, this is my intent, and this is my clear message, and I'm doing it with transparency, you'll, bad reference, but you'll be the killer whale in the tiny SeaWorld tank. You will be a very big fish in a small area. And that's, you don't get there overnight. You don't get there quickly. Your marketing is a marathon. It's not a sprint, but you have to have the intention, and you have to have the strategy of how to leverage that intention to get there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm trying to think of summaries or how to kind of wrap up. I think we've hit some really good stuff. Hopefully it's been really helpful to you guys. We're going to be talking about next week on the training. We're going to dive even deeper into this. We titled the training, It Starts with the End. And one of the reasons I titled it that is because I think oftentimes we tend to think of the entry point of our business in our marketing too often, and we don't really think about the customer journey and where we want them to end up. So we're going to dive in next week about how really you need to know the end point for where you want that person to stop, what your conversion is, whether they're going to purchase something or they're going to sign on to work with you or they're going to visit your store. Whatever end point is, we're going to talk about why deciding that first can really help you craft all of the entry point marketing and all of the beginning of your marketing campaigns so much easier, because you can't draw a roadmap if you don't know where you're going.
That's so true. It's a strange thing. Marketing can sometimes work in reverse of what a lot of things in business, the way that they operate. So it's total. That's what's fun about it, at least for me. Some people hate it, but hopefully in our series we'll help get you guys more comfortable in doing it and get you better results as you do it.
Yeah, so leave comments with questions or comments or feedback or whatever you want to drop below the video, and this will stay up in the group, so you can revisit it. You can come back to it at any time. You can watch it whenever it's convenient for you, and then we'll also see you next Wednesday. We'll upload the next video at 3 p.m. next Wednesday. So thank you so much, guys.
Thanks. We'll see you next week.